Hello everyone, I'm D,
And I am R.
and together we are
DJR Union.
And today we're going to be going over some of the cards that are going to be coming out in the near future when it relates to the game of Union Arena, and more specifically, Demon Slayer and One Punch Man. Because we don't know anything about One Punch Man, and most people can look up the Japanese version of the Demon Slayer cards, but we're going to be going over them nonetheless. So to start things off, we're going to do a brief once-over for the winner cards, because I did go over them in our news video. You can check the link in the description below. And we're just going to go over them real quick so that way people that haven't seen the video can see them right now. So first up, we got Kyojiro Rengoku. He is a Hashira, 3 energy, 1 action. Generates 1 energy for 35 plus BP. If he's on the front line, you can place 1 card from your hand to the sideline. Once per turn, all characters on your field will gain 500 BP until the end of the turn. Now, this doesn't just include your front line, this includes even your energy line. So if you have any cards that can move up from the energy line to the front line, this card can greatly benefit that.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, that's like a pretty solid card in my books. Just on its own, for it to be 3 energy, 1 action, and 3,500 beater on itself. And then on top of that, I can discard a card from my hand and it have not only itself, but other cards, all other cards on the field. Character cards, that is, gain 500 BP. Pretty strong in my humble opinion. Plus, I really do like how the card looks, especially if you see the little flowers in the background. I really love that touch to the mix, and it really just overall just adds a lot more to the card itself. So I'm very, very much a fan of this card right here.
Not to mention, these flowers are actually textured, so this is a textured foil card.
Oh, even better. So I really like that.
This isn't the only textured foil card, though. Because up here we have Genos, these lightning bolts and energy fragments are also going to be kind of textured.
Ooh, even better. I love me some texture cards. I love filling up on them.
So here's our raid card. It's Genos. Pretty much he's your hero card. 4 energy, 1 action. He is in green. And pretty much you raid him. He has double block. And when this character attacks and wins a battle, you get to draw a card. Now, when he's sidelined, you get to return up to 1 base card of this raided character to your hand.
To me, that's pretty good. I mean, already, like I said, it's a 4 energy raid, 4k BP with double block. That alone is really good on itself. And then on top of that, if he attacks and wins, you get to draw a card. So they now have to choose, be like, do I want to take damage or do I want to give my character a card? So that's already putting more pressure on your opponent. And on top of that, you get to bounce the card that you use to raid this Genos back to your hand just to play it again. So especially if it's a card like, say, for example, when played, draw a card, or when played on draw a card, discard a card. So anything like that, it just adds that much more value to you just for them getting rid of the character. So pretty solid card in my opinion.
Now, I will say this. Now, I do want to point out something very important. Look at the phrasing. This card says, when sidelined, return the bottom card of this rated character to your hand. Now, obviously, this is the Lancelot card from the Code Geass set that just recently came out. We do have videos up and coming up about this set. But this card is a very good card because with Suzaku, you're able to send Suzaku back to your hand and then play him again in a future turn and possibly raid once more with him. However, that's not how they phrase it on the Genos card. On the Genos card, it says, return up to 1 base card of this rated character to your hand, which makes me believe that Genos is going to have some type of mechanic where you're putting cards underneath him to buff him in some way, shape, or form. Look at how he is in the anime. Every time he comes back, he's a little bit stronger with new gear on him. So what if this is a nod that we're going to have form changes for Genos by having cards underneath him?
Ooh, that's actually a really good thing to point out. I wasn't even thinking about that, so now I'm even more intrigued as to what they have in store for us with this Geno, or with the Geno and Hero archetype as a whole.
Yeah. Baby girl, she needs no introduction.
Best
you
girl
know who
in the
she
city.
is. She's 0 energy, 1 action, draw a card, sideline a card. It's peak. This is perfection. It's the most beautiful thing I've seen in my entire life. I do like the card art though. The card art's amazing. She got the nail in that. I already mentioned this in the video. You just look at the link below. I already talked about how much I love this, how much I love her character, bro.
Bro, this card art is actually pretty sick. I really love the color palette they use, the red, the pink, the green. It all plays hand in hand. I'm definitely gonna be going for this Nabara in these next winter battles, bro. I'm definitely want to get a play set of her to put in my JJK deck.
So moving on, we got our first look into some more Demon Slayer cards. Inosuke Hashibiri.
It's okay. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
You can tell he's not really one of my favorite characters. Inosuke Hashibira.
Well, he's my favorite character. Let's give it up for all the Inosuke fans up in here, boy. Woo, 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 woo.
So anyways, no, Inosuke is a really cool character. He might not be my favorite character, but I do like him. So he has impact at 2500 BP, 1 energy, 1 action. So he is early on doing stuff. However, if he's on the front line, if this character is active at the end of your attack phase, you kill it. And when this character attacks and loses a battle, you kill it. Very reminiscent of Jonas from the Hunter x Hunter set in Green, I believe. He was the exact same way as this Inosuke, so he's pretty much going to be out early, doing damage, and then you're getting rid of him when he no longer is useful because he gets rid of himself.
Yeah, so it's kind of... I want to say it's good. It's good for early. It's like super early game pressure. But going into late game, he kind of falls off. So I definitely want to see you running him as a 4 of, a 1, maybe 2 of at best. And that's a hard maybe.
I agree. Definitely a good frontline character that pretty much is going to be attacking, and that's his only purpose. Sure, play him in the energy line. His effect won't activate because it only activates if he's in the front line. However, the second you put him in the front line, he is doing nothing but attacking like a madman, which is what Inosuke is, a madman. And I think this perfectly fits his character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Real quick, I do want to say the flavor text for this is really good. You sacrifice one card from your hand to set your heart ablaze and give every card 500 BP, which is very similar to how Rengoku during the Demon Trainer, during the Mugen Train arc, how he was pretty much telling Tanjiro and the crew, set your heart ablaze, and was boosting their morale. Bro looking a little rough and ragged.
Flowing.
You got his energy flowing around him like that, looking kind of nice.
I think it's called Flowing Water Fist or something. Something similar to that. Let us know down in the comment section below.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I watched One Punch Man. I'm gonna be rewatching it before the set comes out though. So Garo, during your turn, he gets 1k BP, putting him from 3k to 4k, and he generates 2 energy. A pretty basic card, but I think it kind of fits him well where on his turn, pretty much when he's attacking the people, when he's going off doing his whole duty of attacking, the heroes, he's learning from that experience and getting a little bit stronger. Therefore, it's showing by on your turn when he's attacking, he's getting a little bit stronger, learning from his mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much what D said. Like I said, he's good on offense and defense, and just fits his overall technique and his overall whole as a character. Goro is a person who is always adapting to his opponent. So whether he be losing in the first half, all he needs is to give him a little bit of time to watch your moves, to adapt, to mimic it, and to take it in for himself, and he's going to be overwhelming you later on. So it really do work with his character, like you said, generating 2 energy on defense, and then being super aggressive, getting 1k on offense. So overall, a very good overall well-rounded character.
Last up, Megami. He needs no introduction. This is a card we already know about. I just want to show the card art. It's my boy. He doing the little hand. He making the light shadows like I'm doing right now over on the. You can't see it because I'm not filming myself, but I'm doing it. Ari can see it. I'm failing miserably. That's not even a dog.
He's trying. It
looks like a dog, kind of.
You
see, that's the mouth. These are the ears. You see, so woof woof. Meow.
Yeah. I'm done.
I wish I was recorded now. Alright, moving on. Action points. Love to see them. So I'm the only one in our group apparently, or out of the 2 of us. I don't know how Jay feel. I was gonna call him, but let's not. So out of me and R, I'm the only one that appreciates action points. I think they're really cool. I like how they look, and I like how you can kind of flavorize your deck by giving them specific action points. So, if you're running a Tanjiro crew, this is your action point you're going to be using. It's Tanjiro and Zenitsu. They chilling while Inosuke's over here posing in the background, looking like...
he's doing his own thing.
Then you got Saitama and the entire One Punch gang.
Oh, heck yeah.
I like it. It's nice little chibi versions of the cards, of the characters. It's really good, really neat. I like it. It's little not flavorful. It's tasteful.
I don't know if you noticed, but this looks like, I feel as though this action point is a callback towards the release banner of when One Punch Man was first announced. I don't know if you remember it, but it looks kind of similar to it because you had Saitama doing the punch and all the heroes around him. If you guys remember what I'm talking about, you know, but I just feel as though this is like a good reminiscence of that in this action point. So I do appreciate that.
I like it. And then last but not least, you got my boy Gojo, dreamt out, but you got my boy Nanami. He just out here eating a steak. He like, bro, get that camera out of my face, bro. I'm just trying to eat here, bro.
Yeah, I will say that this is going to be the action point you want to pull.
This is my action point.
That's
I already
the
pulled
action
it.
point you want to pull.
I actually have a copy of it right here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, see it? It's right here.
Right here? Oh, yeah, you do have a copy.
Yeah, see?
No,
Bro, I'm just built different.
Just built different.
I bought it off this guy for like $100. I'm not gonna lie. It was not worth it, but
you know, you do that. You gotta be the first ones to have it.
yeah. Now we're gonna go into some more Demon Slayer cards. Down here. So first we got Kanao Tsurugi. Pretty much when she's active, she gains 1 energy generation.
You know, your basic energy generation for 2 energy, 1 action. But you know, I like the fact that it's a Kano. You know, you love to see it, so I appreciate that.
Very timid, so she's typically in the back line, in the energy line anyways, just supporting the group. She's not really doing much
until it's time
in this stage. Zenitsu Agatsuma, bro. This boy, this is my favorite character.
Oh wait, hold on.
2 energy, 1 action. When played, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Raid among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck in any order, and if you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. This man is a sleeper, and I'm not just talking about how he is in the anime. I'm talking about this card. It's not really a sleeper card. It's a really good card. No one's going to sleep on it, I don't think.
Yeah, you're digging 7 cards deep. 7.
For a raid.
For a raid.
It doesn't even need to be any type. He doesn't have a type, so he doesn't like specifically belong to an archetype. So if there are multiple cards in red, you can put him with any card in red just to search for your raids.
Oh yeah, precisely. So he's going to be a pretty good card, especially searching up your raid cards. One thing I noticed that I'm starting to see, especially starting with the Code Geass set and transitioning over to the Demon Slayer set, is that if you look at the last sentence of this text, it says, if you add the card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. And I noticed with a lot of cards that came in the set prior, they don't really have effects that say place from hand to sideline. So I wonder if this is Bandai's attempt to try to balance out further cards, because they're starting to understand how powerful it is to dig into the deck and just add any card to your hand. I think they're trying to balance it out by saying, oh, not only can you add any card from among these 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 cards you dug into your hand, you got to place a card from your hand into your sideline. So I wonder if this is their attempt to balance these cards off. I guess we'll see as more sets come in the future.
Now, I know for a fact Ara is talking about this card, the Gon Freaks, that specifically goes into the specified slot deck list in Hunter x Hunter Blue. As you see, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal 1 specified slot affinity card from among them to your hand, and then you place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. No cards need to go in the sideline. Pretty much, this caused the specified slot deck to pretty much be a very powerful threat because it's able to just cycle through the deck really quickly, and there's no real drawback on it, especially because you'll also be running in specified slot a very important card known as Strip of Beach, which pretty much increases your maximum hand size to 15. With those 2 cards in conjunction, that deck is very powerful at being able to get cards that it needs from the deck at any point in time, and then have them in your hand at any point in time to do whatever you want, again, at any point in time. So like R said, adding in that text at the bottom to place 1 card from your hand to the sideline if you add a card to your hand is a really good way to try to curve that mentality of being too good at searching through your deck. Your next card, Inosuke Hashibira. 1 energy, 1 action. If this character has moved this turn, it gains 500 BP until the end of the turn.
That's not a bad card. I mean, pretty straightforward strategy. You play this card into your back line, then on your follow-up turn, you move it to the front line so it could be swinging as a 3k beater versus a 2500 beater. Pretty good early game rush play. So it just leads me to imagine that a lot of the Inosuke cards in this set are going to be more geared towards like a rush down type of deck versus like a stall or a control or a late game type of deck, in my honest opinion.
I mean, you also have to consider red is a rush down color when it comes to Union Arena. A lot of the red cards you see pretty much encourage the rush down behavior. If you look at Pizza Time or even the Ashford Academy focused deck in Code Geass, they tend to focus around searching through your deck really quickly, like the Zenitsu, to add really good cards to your hand, or pretty much ways to increase your character's BP to do quick damage early on in the game, so that way you don't have to deal with a long drawn out battle.
Oh yeah, precisely.
Last up, we got Tanjiro Kamado, 2 energy, 1 action, and as you see, he has step, 3k BP. Pretty good.
Pretty good. You know, 3k beater with step. You could be on the front line or you could be on the back line. So pretty nice card. Not much more to really be said about Tanjiro.
Try to get some early attacks in, stepping back to the energy line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we move on to the One Punch Man cards, because I know that's what everyone's like really excited about, we're going to go over to the rest of the Demon Slayer cards, and hey, this card looks familiar. So,
I haven't seen that card in my life.
What we have here is a Tanjiro, 4 energy, 1 action, the raid card. Pretty much after you play this card, you're gonna raid him on top of this. That's just one scenario. There's a bunch of other scenarios too. But when this card is raided, if Nezuko Kamado is on your field, this character gains 500 BP and impact 1 until the start of your next turn.
So this is pretty much giving me the idea that one, of course, you're going to be playing Nezuko and Tanjiro together in the same deck. So, because why wouldn't you be? They're brother and sister after all. But this also gives me the same type of vibes as, like, say, Todo and Takeda from the JJK set. Where it's like, if you play a Todo and Takeda's on the field, I think, if I remember correctly, it gets either an extra 500 BP, if I remember correctly.
Extra 500 BP, yep.
Yeah, so I wonder it's going to be the same thing where Nezuko is going to be one of those play a card, bounce a card back to your hand, so that way you can generate 2 energy, and then that way you have the 2 energy generation to play this raid Tanjiro, and because you have your Nezuko on the back line generating you energy, you're able to buff up your Tanjiro even further, giving it that extra 500 BP and that impact 1 to start swinging in for some more damage. So I wonder if that's how it's going to be playing out with this archetype going forward.
It's very interesting considering how it is a raid and he's only getting impact on that first turn, essentially, because yes, it's until the start of your next turn, but you're not going to be using impact on your opponent's turn. So he's only having impact that first turn. So after that, what do? Where's the use for this card? Because it's just a 4k beater. That's the use. It's a 4k beater. It's still pretty strong. However, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some other cards in yellow that will, in some way, shape, or form, buff Tanjiro, or in some way, shape, or form, buff other cards around him, like our mentioned, a Nezuko Tanjiro combo piece that will end up destroying your entire enemy's board in like 1 or 2 moves. Giyu Tomioka. Giyu, 5 energy, 2 action. This card, 4k BP, right off the bat. He has impact 1. Pretty much, we all know what impact 1 does. Now, when he's played, you get to choose 1 character on your opponent's front line, switch it to resting, and draw a card. I believe that Giyu is worth the 2 actions, because not only does he eliminate the threat of an opponent blocking a card by resting a card on their front line, but it also replaces himself by being able to draw a card. That's my 2 cents on it. R, what do you think?
I'm a little bit indifferent. Although it does do quite a bit, I don't think it do enough to justify 2 actions, in my personal opinion. The main reason I'm saying that is because, yes, switching a character on the opponent's front line to resting is good. What's even better is so that on their follow-up turn, when it will be switched back to active, it stays resting. I would have preferred that a lot more for it being 2 actions versus just simply just resting it, because you got to think of this. You're wasting 2 action points to play this card that does have impact, but if you play this card, especially on your front line, you can't capitalize on the fact that you switch one of your opponent's characters to resting. It would be a different story if this was a raid card and you raided it, so that way it's not only am I playing it active, and then I can take one of your other cards on your opponent's side and switch to resting, so now you're down a blocker. Now I'm able to capitalize on that mechanic and actually start swinging it and getting damage through. On top of the fact I have impact and I'm replacing myself. But the matter of the fact that it's coming in as a rested character to rest another character, to me, like I said, I can't justify the 2 action points to be playing it as much. I might see it as a 1, maybe a 2 of, but like I said, in my opinion, if it would have just said that, hey, it's set to resting until even after the opponent's next unrest phase, I would think it's a lot better card, but I think this card is just average at best.
All right. Again, only time will tell, because all we know is that this is Giyu. We don't know if there's any Giyu support. We don't know if Giyu is just a standalone card in this set. So we will see in probably a couple weeks. Let's be honest. It'll probably be a week or 2 before they release a card list for everyone. Next up, we got Total Concentration Breathing and Water Breathing 10th Form Constant Flux. With Total Concentration Breathing, 3 energy, 1 action, stand up 2 AP cards. Water Breathing 10th Form Constant Flux, 4 energy, 1 action, kill a character with 3k or less BP on your opponent's front line, and if Tanjiro's on the field, 5k or less instead.
Yeah, so pretty much basically you have your restand 2 of your action point cards. You play these as a 4-up. You hear it said all the time. You're not playing for these persons. Quit the game. Just quit the game.
Just stop playing.
Just stop playing. Like, you don't know how to play this game. And then, of course, your Water Breathing 10th Form. It's basically your skill spell with Tanjiro. You know, kill character 5k or less BP.
Now, I will say, I think that the Demon Slayer art is peak. A lot of people say that's carried by the animation, and I do agree with that. However, with these cards, you get to see a really nice detail about the art. This isn't something you normally see in the actual show. You see glimpses of it. You see frames of this happening, like, as it brisks by, but you don't get a chance to just stop and see how the water's actually animated. And to me, I find it absolutely amazing because you really get to see how much work went behind, like, just this water animation. This one frame of water animation alone just looks absolutely phenomenal. And I will say that I do find it to be absolutely beautiful, and I'm glad we're getting a Demon Slayer set.
As a person who draws a little bit on the sideline myself, I can really appreciate this, especially the fact that it was animated on top of that. So you only imagine different types of frames, colors, shadings, and shapes that go into a frame-by-frame piece. It's definitely not an easy task in the slightest, but I'm going to leave it at there before I start going on the art rant myself.
Nezuko Kamado, we got 2 Nezukos. Nezuko coming out of a box all cute and childlike, 0 energy, 1 action. On your turn, if Tanjiro's on the field, she gains 1,000 BP, putting her at 2,500 BP for a 0 cost card.
That's honestly pretty good. That's actually pretty deadly, especially if you're like going second. Like you say, you just play like a 0 cost Tanjiro and then follow up with a 0 cost Nezuko onto the front line. Already like boom, you have a 2,500 0 cost beater swinging at your face. Or you can do it the other way around. You go in first, you put Nezuko on your front line, then follow up your play with a Tanjiro on the back line. Boom, you're swinging 2,500. And this is good because a lot of times when you're trying to be aggressive with your step characters, all the step characters up to this point only have 2k BP at most. So you'll play a step character on the front line to hopefully on next turn start swinging the damage, and your opponent has to make the decision to be like, oh, I gotta put a character up to the front line to protect my to protect my life. Nah, in this case, like, oh, Q, you have a step character? Fine, I'm gonna pick this Nezuko that's gonna be 2,500. You can't swing over it, but I can definitely swing at you. So this Nezuko is a pretty good hard counter to a lot of those early game step plays.
The second Nezuko is 2 energy, 1 action, 3k BP this time. When she's played, if she's on the front line, if Tanjiro Kamado is on your field, you get to choose up to 1 character with 1,500 or more BP on your opponent's front line, and it loses 1,000 BP until the end of the turn.
Pretty good, pretty good. So pretty much when played, you have a Tanjiro on your front line. You like I say, you play a raid Tanjiro, you follow it up with this Nezuko. You decrease something's BP by 1k, so that way you can turn like a 4k to a 3k beater, just making it weak enough so that way you can either swing over it and start swinging past it and start getting some damage in. So overall, not a bad card. So pretty good, pretty solid card. Plus it has a trigger ability, so that's also nice.
Yep, gotta love triggers. They're really good. Last up, we got Muzan.
Michael Jackson.
So Muzan Kibutsuji, 1 energy, 1 action. When he's played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 lower ranked Demon Affinity card among them, add it to your hand, place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you added a card to hand, place one from hand to sideline. Once again, there's that extra added text at the end of the paragraph to let you know that they are indeed moving forward with this path.
Yep, so like I said, these said it best. Like I said, it's like they're realizing that the digging mechanic is super strong in this game, and especially in the fact that you can't shuffle your deck in this game. So they're trying to do their best to balance out by making it so you have to put cards from your hand into the sideline. But still, nonetheless, like I said, you get yourself a 1 energy body to put on the field and to be able to dig 5 cards deep into your deck. To me, it's always good to dig deep into your deck. So overall, it's a pretty solid card in my case. I personally would definitely run it as a 4-of.
I'm really curious to see what the lower ranked demons is about because, I mean, considering it's Muzan, and I guess since we're covering probably just season 1 of Demon Slayer, we're going to only be dealing with lower ranked demons. We probably won't see any upper ranked ones outside of probably Akaza because he was very prominent during the train arc, and we did see the train arc in one of the card arts in one of the previous slides. And so I believe that we're going up at least that far, but I feel like Muzan's going to be the captain, so to speak, of the lower rank demon brigade. And who knows, we might see some of the upper ranks. We don't know yet, but only time will tell. 3 energy, 1 action, Muzan Kibutsuji in his geisha form. Pretty much, this card is also treated as Muzan Kibutsuji, if you couldn't tell by the name Muzan Kibutsuji in the top right here. On the main phase, once per turn, sideline 1 other character on your field and place the top card of your deck into your sideline. If you do, this character gains 1k BP until the end of turn.
Yeah, so pretty much you kill a character and on your field and you just make it stronger. So that leads me to assume that, again, of course, being in purple, there's going to be a lot of card manipulation, especially a lot of graveyard manipulation. So you're probably going to be sending things to the graveyard, or in this case, the sideline, and bringing it back. Of course, they're demons. They don't really die unless by sunlight. So if you're going to cut off a limb, they attempt to kill them, they're just going to keep coming back again and again. So this is just building on that whole archetype with the whole demons and everything. So that just leads me to believe that, of course, Michael Jackson here is going to be killing off demons to make himself stronger. Then those demons are going to be coming back and doing more heinous crimes and everything. So overall, pretty good card. I'm definitely looking forward to what this card is capable of once it's set release.
I do think also that, considering what Muzan does in the anime, pretty much his whole gimmick is that not only does he bring, or pretty much give the demons their powers, but not only, that was literally the end of the sentence. In the anime, Muzan pretty much gives the demons their powers. So what my thought process is when it comes into this is, again, I haven't really looked at the Japanese cards yet, so I wouldn't know how it actually plays in the Japanese version just yet, but it kind of gives me this thought process of that when you're sidelining one character on your field and placing the top card of your deck into the sideline, you're possibly going to be buffing a character as it returns. Muzan's going to have some way to strengthen a demon if you bring it back from the sideline, or some way to get extra attacks in, or maybe do some extra killing powers by killing off demons on your side. I feel like it's going to be very reminiscent of the Cursed Spirits in the JJK purple deck with Mahito. I feel like there is going to be some type of benefit in relation to that here. Now, back to the cards that are going to be in the Judge Pack. We're going to move on to some of the first One Punch Man cards we have seen yet. And I'm excited, so let's jump right in. Mind you, I do believe we're going to be getting a Dream Saitama at some point. Like a Saitama that's literally from the Dream, where he was like a nerfed version. That might be his Zero Energy Saitama. It's going to be Dream Saitama, where he's like actually... Anyways, Terrible Tornado. 3 energy, 1 action. She is a hero. During your turn, if you have used an event card this turn, she gets 1k BP. She generates 2 energy at 3k base. With that ability, she will move up to 4k.
Little conflicted with this card, surprisingly. I do like the card. I like Tatsumaki. Her and Fubiki, one of my favorite characters in all One Punch Man. Don't need to go any further than that. But like I said, I do like the fact that, hey, if you play an event card, like say like a action point restand card or something, it gains 1k BP, making her a 4k BP for 3 actions. For 3 energy, 1 actions. And I do like the fact that she also generates 2 energy. I think what this card is missing is the fact that it doesn't have step. I think you have 2 things on this card that are really good, but there's no step to really tie it all together. You're kind of just dedicating yourself to one or the other, because of course, if it's going to be on your back line, yep, you can generate 2 energy. But also, if it's on the front line, you like say you started on the back line and move it to the front line, you can't move it back to the back line for the 2 energy. Now you're just stuck with like say, okay, now I either swing with 3k or 3 or 4k. So not a bad card, but if this card would have had step on top of it, it would have been that much better and a much more well-rounded card in my opinion.
I will agree. I do think step would definitely bring this card into like the upper leagues of how strong this card could be. But I feel like right now it's fine. Because first of all, 2 energy generation, that's a really powerful ability. And yes, you do have the either or. But I feel like that's kind of the point. I feel like you're going to start off by putting her in the energy line. And you're only going to pull her up to the front line to do damage. Odds are you're probably going to end up blocking with her anyways to protect yourself from damage. So you're going to lose her after you move her forward, use that event card that 1 turn and do it. So at that point, you'd lose both the chance to do damage and the energy. So I feel like there is a good little strategy involved with her. She stays back and builds up energy until she's ready to move forward and attack, which I believe, again, fits her character. She sits back, has her telepathic energy in store and reserves, then she moves forward to attack with her overpowering Psychokinesis, and is able to pretty much dominate the entire team. Next up, we got my boy Saitama. Let's go. 3 energy, 1 action. Cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. This is a trend. If on the front line, at the end of your attack phase, move this character to the energy line, and then on the main phase, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. This ability can only be activated if your front line is not full. Move this character to the front line.
I just
10k BP.
I just noticed that. This is a 3 energy, 1 action, 10k character.
Yeah.
This is 10k for 3 actions.
Yeah, it's Saitama.
Okay.
It's Saitama.
Okay. What?
He's a guy who's just a hero for fun.
He's a hero. He's more than a hero for 10k BP for 3 energy. What in the freak is this?
Oh, he was just working out. He just worked out for a while.
Bro.
He got really strong.
Bro. I'm flabbergasted. I have no words. I don't know what to say. This. Yeah, this card is dumb. It's dumb. That's all I can say. This card is 10k BP for only 3 energy. Okay. D, what are your thoughts?
So while R tries to break down what this card is for the 10k BP, I'm gonna break down the ability. So for one, yes, this 10k BP is coming in swinging very hard. However, he doesn't have impact or any form to increase his damage, this card alone. Therefore, you're able to easily block the 10k BP. Unfortunately, you will lose a character from it, but that's just a risk you might have to take for it. Or you can just take the 1 damage. I mean, again, there's no real punishment for not taking the hit or for taking the hit. Pretty much, also, since he's on the front line during his attack, he moves to the energy line. He generates 2 energy, which is really strong, but he moves back to the energy line. Therefore, you don't have to worry about getting over him when you're attacking. You just have to worry about him when he attacks. On the main phase, you place 1 card from your hand to the sideline, which can only be activated if your front line is not full, and you can move him to the front line. I'm not quite sure what this is for, outside of using his energy to use a very powerful ability and then discarding a card to move him up front later in the turn, which actually is a pretty smart way to include ways to have a character move to the front outside of cards like the Suzaku that came out in Code Geass, where this Suzaku will typically, when Euphemia Liputania on the field is sidelined, you can move this character to the front line, which is really good if you use the 0 energy Euphemia to generate an extra energy. Then when she dies at the end of the main phase, you can then move Suzaku up to the front line to essentially continue your onslaught of attacks. But with Saitama, you're able to essentially do that just by discarding a card. It's pretty interesting, and I really want to see what other cards come out in yellow One Punch Man to really see if this card alone is that huge of a threat or not.
Exactly.
Garo. This is the pretty much lighter version. This is the diet Garo that we saw earlier. And then we have Genos. 3 energy, 1 action. He has double block at 3500 BP. Pretty good number of BP to have for double block because you're able to block a lot more than just with 3k. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He's able to do a lot of blocking.
Pretty standard. Good double blocker. So yeah.
And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for the One Punch Man cards.
Yeah, so
is what I would say if I was telling the truth. So here we are, we have the leaks. We have the leaks here. So this is a Genos card here. It's not a raid. And oh, it's in Japanese. I can't read Japanese. Don't worry, we got the translations right here. So here's a yellow character. As you see, 3 energy, 1 action, generates 2 energy at 3k plus BP. He is the double star version. He has Nullify Impact, which is really good, being able to Nullify Impact. If there's a Saitama on your field, anywhere, he gets 1k BP, which is good. That brings him up to 4k. 4k, Nullify Impact, really strong. Not many cards are going to get over him, but cards that do and have impact will be nullified by him. If he dies because he blocked, and he lost a battle basically, you get to choose 1 character on your area, on your field, and set it to active. Pretty much, oh, you already blocked with the card, and you blocked with this Genos, he dies, you get to stand that card right back up. Pretty good for building up your defense, so he's very good defensively. I wouldn't say he's the greatest offensively, but definitely defensively he's strong.
Oh yeah, definitely a good defensive play, especially if you're trying to protect your health, especially going into the later games and everything of that nature. He's definitely a good clutch card.
Now, for those at home, I do want to put a little trigger warning, because what you're about to see might shock you. It may even horrify you. So here's Saitama, 15 energy, 2 action, 10k BP.
Repeat that for everybody in the crowd to hear. How much energy?
It requires 15 energy.
15. How in the cinnamon toast are you supposed to generate 15 energy?
Well, see, that's the neat thing about this Saitama card. Now, before we were talking about another Saitama card, but pretty much it kind of, the 15 energy and the mechanic around this Saitama kind of brings about the thought process that I had when the 15 energy mechanic around this Saitama is pretty much really interesting. It goes similar to what I was thinking was going to happen back when there was the talk about the Saitama with 10,000 BP. I was thinking that's a lot of BP. There's no way that's real. Turns out it is real. And turns out there's a lot more in store for us outside of that. But I had a thought that it was going to be like a he's late to the party type of thing. If anyone has played One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, or has seen gameplay on it, you know that Saitama literally kills any character in One Punch and takes like almost no damage. As a result, he's always late. You have to wait for the game to hit a certain time frame and then you're able to play him. If you lose your other characters before then, you lose the game. So I thought it was going to be something like that, where as like the lower your life is, then you can get him out. But that's not the case here. So we're going to actually go ahead and look at these translated abilities right now. So starting off, for every 5 cards, every 5 cards in your outside area, essentially your banished area, reduce the required energy of this card in your hand by 1. So 5, that's 1. 10, 15, 20, 25. At 25 cards in your outside area, he is now a 10 energy card.
I'm still trying to figure out how you're supposed to get to 10 energy. Maybe there are going to be some cards because, give and take, with Suzaku and Lancelot and Code Geass, you are able to easily get the 8 energy, surprisingly. So I am curious to see how they're going to make it so you can easily generate 10 energy or even between 10 and 15 energy. Because that's still a pretty tall order for this card. A really tall order.
I mean, look at it this way. In Code Geass, we got the introduction to 3 energy generating cards. Cards that generate 3 energy. If you have 3 of these cards on the field, you're still only hitting 12 energy. Best case scenario, you need cards that say this card also generates energy on the front line, and you'd need 3 other cards to hit 15. So 3, 6, 9, 12 in the energy line, and then 3 copies of this card also generates energy in the front line to hit 15. That is the bare minimum for what would need to happen to get him out at 15 energy. However, odds are I don't believe they're going to do something like that. So let's move on to the next ability that this Saitama has. This character is played in active. That's right. The second you play this card, he's not a raid character. The second you play him, he's played in active.
Of course.
Meaning, you get to attack the second he comes out. For 2 actions and whatever amount of energy you're paying to play him, I think that's worth it.
He better come out active if I'm going to try to get that much energy to play him.
Yeah. Next ability, Impact 3.
Impact 3.
If you block his attack, you're taking 3 damage and losing a character.
Yeah. And imagine this late game, where you're already probably at 4 or 3 health anyway, and this guy's on the field.
At that point, you lose the game.
Yeah, you pretty much lose.
Next ability.
I'm sorry.
You saw that.
Say it for everybody to hear what that says.
I'm too scared to say it.
Well, I'll say it. That says damage 7. I'm sorry, D. How much health do you start off with at the beginning of this game?
7.
7. And this does how much damage for a direct attack? 7. You can have a perfect game. You are outplaying the freak out of your opponent, and they drop this Saitama. and they manage to get this Saitama through, you're dead.
7.
You better hope you hit your finals.
I mean, it's all 7 cards that flip over at the same time. One of them's going to be a final, so you might get a last
You better
breath.
hope 1, 2, 3 of those guys are finals, a final with a special, something at that matter, because that card basically says, I'm winning this turn.
But you could block it and only take 3 damage.
I mean, you can, unless they do some nonsense, wipe your board, drop this bad boy on the field, and next thing you know, you're dead.
Also, the damage 7, if you need me to explain to you why it's flavorful that he has damage 7, I need you to go home right now. I don't know where you are right now. I need you to go home. And if you're home, stay home. Turn on your TV or computer or phone. Type in One Punch Man episode 1 and just watch the anime. Because if I need to explain to you why damage 7 is flavorful for Saitama, then you haven't watched One Punch Man. It's that simple.
Clearly have not watched One Punch Man.
Now here's the fun part. I'm still not done with abilities.
There's more.
This character does not leave your area. Wow. This Saitama's attacking me right now. This character does not leave your area by your opponent's effects.
So you're telling me if I attack you for 7 and you reveal a special, it doesn't kill it?
Nope.
Huh. So I just lose. So I basically just lose.
No, it's just he doesn't exist anymore.
I just lose.
I mean, I wouldn't say lose. I'd say
I just lose. I can't kill him. I can't kill him. I can't kill him. I cannot stop him. I can only hope to delay him.
Just deal with it.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
3 impact.
Yeah.
Damage 7, and you want me to deal with this?
Yeah.
Go to the next effect.
So yeah, there is more effect. When attacking, you get to choose one of your characters on your opponent's front line and kill it.
So just flat out kill it.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to meet a BP requirement. You just kill it.
Yeah, he's One Punch Man.
He's One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And one punch,
Yeah.
you're dead.
Yeah.
This Kenpachi's not even blocking this.
Nah.
Ain't no way.
Nah.
Nah. So not only when attacking, he just flat out kill your thing. So even if you're trying to block, you're trying to block. I have no choice but to take 3 cards. Nah, fam. You're taking 7. You're taking 7 damage.
Yeah.
7 damage.
He just a One Punch Man.
He don't care.
He
He
just-
don't care.
He just want to punch one time.
He just want one time. Punch one time.
But there's still one last effect.
Let's read the effect.
So at the end of this character's battle, that's right, battle, when it is blocked, return it to your hand.
Oh, ain't that lovely? When
Yeah.
it's blocked. So,
Yeah.
so pretty much as you take 3 damage, it returns back to my hand. I guess that would nerf the character. You want to call it a nerf. If you're just gonna play it again, come out active, swing in again, impact 3, damage 7, killing another character, bounce back to your hand, play it again, rinse and repeat. I guess that balances it out. I guess that helps it out in this sense. That if you're swinging with this super busted 10 KBP, 15 energy, godforsaken card right here, I guess there's hopes. There's hopes for you to win.
So since you're done ranting, I'm gonna point out something. They added this effect for a reason, I believe. And that's because the amount of energy that you produce doesn't last for long. There's some type of restriction tied to it. Whether it's going to be a 1 energy card where you tap it and it generates 2 extra energy and then it's sidelined, or something like that. It's going to be something that causes it to where after it's back to hand, it's not easy to get out again. I feel like they found a way to make you generate a bunch of energy for a powerful card, but they also take that energy away from you because you're using it for Saitama. I feel like I want to have hope that they actually not only found a way to, of course, make this character almost impossible to get out with 15 energy, but also found a way to restrict him, even in times where you get to send him back to the hand. I feel like there's a chance for that to happen, but I'm just too uncertain. And we'll just have to wait and see at this point.
I'm certain about one thing. My enemy's taking 3 damage regardless.
Yes.
Just on rip, you're taking 3 damage.
I feel like Saitama might be the meta.
I think so too. I'm just saying, like, during my entire match, I just gotta get you. I'm not trying to kill you for 7. I'm trying to kill you for 4.
Yeah.
I just need to do 4 damage because the moment I bring the Saitama, you can have 4 Lancelots, 8 cost Lancelots on your front line. I bring out Saitama, I just need to hit you 1 time. I just need to get 1 attack through. Boom, 3. You better pray you hit a final. You better pray you hit 2.
Yeah.
And you gotta pray you kill me next turn because I'm just gonna draw it down again and kill you. That's what's gonna happen.
So yeah, that is going to wrap up the video in regards to essentially the store tournaments that are going to be coming out. Pretty much the cards that got revealed for it. Winter cards, again, we went through the participation cards where you automatically get all 3 of these. The action points that you can possibly get, whether it's regular or foil, and then some of the cards that come in the judge packs, but we don't really care about the judge packs since not all of us are judges, so what we did was review these cards for the sake of extra Demon Slayer cards and extra One Punch Man cards that we get to have a glimpse at. And with all that being said, that is literally all we have for us. All we have for you.
And I thought Kurapika was bad. I thought Kurapika was giving me PTSD. This Saitama is about to be a complete apocalyptic event. Catastrophic levels. What's the term they use in One Punch Man? God level. What is it? Titan? Dragon? God? God, yeah. Threat level, God. We're fighting God with this.
So with all that being said, I've been D.
I've been R, I guess.
And this has been Saitama.
Saitama, yeah, I guess he's a part of this now. He's DGRS Union now because Saitama's just his own man. He's taking over because ain't no way you're gonna be beating this mofo.
And this has been DJR
Union.